Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Oh my god, I'm literally sweating already, so sorry about it. I just had a concert in my room, if you guys cared. I saw this girl singing on TikTok. I was like, why was I born with no talent? Somebody let me know. So then I tried to force myself to have a singing talent. Intermission because my cat actually just tore all of my curtains down in my room that I just hung up. The theme for today's episode is crazy roommate stories, okay? I'm so annoyed now because I have to think about the fact that I need to hang those curtains up later. No, I don't. Okay, things could be worse. Things could be worse. It's literally just curtains. It's okay. Calm down. Okay, thank you. All right, the first story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Installing a Lock on My Fridge to Stop My Roommate from Stress Eating My Food? I, 30 female, live with my roommate Sarah, 29 female, who has this habit of eating everything in the fridge, whether it's hers or not. She always says it's because she's stressed and swears she'll replace it, but my groceries vanish faster than a dating app match after mentioning kids. The last straw was when she ate my emotional support tiramisu. For context, I'd spent hours making this tiramisu after a rough week at work. It was my therapy in a dessert. Sarah ate the whole thing without asking and left a note on the empty dish that said, "Sorry, PMS sucks. I owe you." That was it. I lost it. I ordered a lock for the fridge for my food and moved everything into it. Now Sarah's furious, saying I've ruined the vibe of the apartment and that I'm passive aggressive for locking her out of the shared fridge. She even tried to rally our other roommates against me. Spoiler, they also hide their snacks from her. Am I the asshole for locking up my food? Or is Sarah just mad that she can't steal my serotonin anymore? Updates. There is a temporary lock on the fridge while we figure out a solution. We have no proof to go to the cops. We have receipts from the last 6 months of grocery bills, and she claims that she could have been on those grocery runs. She also took the broken lock from my roommate. We've lived with Sarah for around 6 years now. She was one of the core girls in our group, and this has only started within the last 14 months, so we care about her as a person, but this behavior cannot continue. She only recently started saying it's because we make more money than her and that it's only fair we share since we've been friends for so long. We've gone to the landlord for theft. He claims that we just need to work it out and don't really have a leg to stand on. We also use a paying portal with him, where we automatically split the rent 4 ways. As for buying a fridge, we already bought 2 $400 coolers, and that still didn't work. Why should we pay an additional few hundred for a fridge, and our electric bills would be insane? We cannot break the lease. We would lose our $4,800 security deposit and need to pay $9,800 for 60 days of rent until they find new tenants, and we can't live there during the 60 days. Her parents are crazy strict and abusive and feel bad for going to her parents. I'm really confused as to why she doesn't just listen when somebody says not to eat their food. That's kind of crazy to me. Just don't eat your roommate's food. I am not gonna lie and say that I've never maybe stolen an egg or something. I mean, usually I would ask hey, can I have an egg? I don't have any eggs and I need to make these cookies or something. But other than that, it's I'm not just gonna go steal my roommate's food. And I mean, I understand that they've been friends for a while, but still, this is especially not to ask and then to just eat it and be sorry, haha, PMS sucks. Okay, what about me? What about the fact that that's mine? And what if I have a reason that I want to eat it? And also, I don't even have to have a reason that I want to eat it. It's just mine, so I get to eat it. I don't understand how this girl doesn't understand boundaries. And I agree, they should not have to put a lock on their fridge and buy a whole new fridge to make her not eat stuff. She just needs to understand. I don't know what's going to make her understand, though. That's the only thing, is they've tried so much and she still is saying that you guys make more money than me, so you need to share. Actually, that's not the case. Just because you make less money doesn't mean that you're entitled to your friend's stuff who makes more money. That makes absolutely no sense. How does that even correlate? It doesn't. Okay, some of the top comments. Not the asshole if I made tiramisu from scratch after a hard week and someone ate all of it without asking and then left a note on the empty dish blaming PMS, their life would be in danger. LOL. I would have shared. I really would have. She left a dirty effing plate in the sink too. See? You can just ask, and the worst they can say is no, and then, you don't get the tiramisu. But most of the time, if it's your friend especially, they're going to let you have a little bit of whatever, most of the time. I mean, And if they didn't, then that's just something you have to deal with. And then maybe be like, hey, I would love if you made me a little bit of that tiramisu. Like, it looked so good. Or maybe you can give me the recipe and I can make it myself. I don't know. It's really not that hard, okay? It's not that hard to be a decent roommate. One of my roommates did 1 year. She lived there for 1 year. I lived at this place for a total of 4 years. So, like, a couple of the girls would come in and out, but, like, we did have a couple that would stay for multiple years. But this is one of the girls that just was there for only a year. And this is a girl that I never met previous to having her move in. So I obviously didn't know her at all. I just, like, kind of vetted her on Facebook, which honestly isn't the greatest idea. She could have been a literal serial killer, but, like, we kind of needed a roommate and we needed someone to fill the master bedroom, which was the most expensive room in our house. And I was doing it all alone. So I saw, like, that she was, like, the most normal contender, and I said, hey, come on over. So she did, and she wasn't, like, crazy or anything. I mean, she definitely did, like, she was a little bit odd, and I tried to get along with her for a while, and then she would always play. She had, like, a subwoofer in her room, and she would play music at, like, 11 p.m., and it was, like, the worst electro, whatever fucking magnetic boom boom shit in the world that actually made my walls vibrate. And it was terrible because I am actually just trying to, like, live my life in my apartment. And at any time of the day, do I, like, want my walls to be vibrating from your music? I don't care if it's 12 in the afternoon. I'm sorry. But there are, like, human decency things that you need to do when you're living with roommates. Like, it's not your house. Yeah, you want to be comfortable in your own home, but, like, there are so many compromises that you have to make when you're living with roommates. You can't just act like, oh, it's the middle of the day, so I can play my music at 500 volume. That's actually not true. Like, yeah, you deserve to be comfortable in your own home, but you can also listen to music at a normal temperature, not a normal temperature, at a normal volume that won't disrupt all of your roommates. Because not everyone wants to be listening to that fucking subwoofer pound on their walls in the middle of the day. So, like, I never said anything if it was the middle of the day because, like, I didn't feel like I had a leg to stand on, even though I could have, because I deserve to be comfortable in my own home as well. But I would say something, like, after a few times of it happening around midnight, and I'd be like, girl, please, can you turn your music down? And it wouldn't even, like, the thing is that the thing that she had was so, like, had so much bass that even if she turned it down, it still vibrated the walls, like, super badly. And that was, like, so annoying to me, because why do you need that in your room? Why do you need that in your room? Like, save it for when you live alone or you live with a boyfriend or something. I don't know. I just feel like when you live with roommates, there's just certain things that, like, you need to do. You got to compromise. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. There's so many things. It's like the temperature of the house. If it's super cold in some areas and super hot in other areas, it's like, does the super hot person get to say that the air needs to be all, like, down to 68, and then, like, the person that's in the room with the freezing room has to just live with the fact that it's freezing in their room? You know, like, there's things you have to compromise. So it's like things like that would happen too. And I don't know, maybe I sound like a bitch or, like, a bad roommate, but I just feel like everyone needs to find a balance when you have roommates. One of my roommates literally, like, took these metal aluminum things and, like, locked all of her drawers and cabinets, and I can't even remember why she did that. I think she thought that everyone was using her stuff, but there was, like, a couple things that I would use, like maybe a can opener or, like, a knife or something, which I don't I didn't really see why it was that big of a deal, but I think there was something that she, like, said, "Can you guys stop doing this?" or something, and then she just, like, got pissed, and she was like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna, like, lock it," or I don't even remember, it was so long ago, but it's kinda normal to have at least, like, 1 or 2 roommates that you just don't really get along with, because you're not gonna get along with everyone, and also, on top of that, living with them is such a different scenario where it's like, I have a preference of how I live and you have a preference of how you live, and we both have to compromise on that. Okay, someone said, not the asshole. If Sarah's stealing everyone's food, you need to have a house meeting and everyone bar Sarah decides on a solution. What? But Sarah, maybe? Also, she's going into your rooms to steal food. That should be an immediate eviction as far as I'm concerned, because your rooms are not common property. You didn't ruin the vibe, she did, and now she's pissed because she knows the reckoning is coming. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it's really not that hard to just be like, oh, shit, they're pissed. Let me back off for a sec. And going into your room is so annoying. I mean, maybe she, just because she is like super close friends with them for years, she just thinks it's like normal. They probably all do that, I'm assuming, because that's like the bar that they've set with each other. Because, like, if I'm with my best friend of years, I'm probably going to go in her room. But stealing stuff is actually so annoying. Like, okay, next. Next. Am I the asshole for not letting my roommate wear something that she stole from me? Last night, my roommate was about to leave for some fancy dinner she was attending at her boyfriend's parents' house, and I noticed that she was wearing my dress. I asked her if it was mine, and she said yes. I asked her if she had gone into my room while I wasn't there and taken it, and she sheepishly said yes. Just to be clear, we don't have that kind of relationship. We're friendly, but we're not friends, so this felt like a huge violation. I told her to take it off and find something else to wear. She began crying and said she had nothing else to wear that would work for the event. I said, too bad. If she had asked me first, it would have been a totally different story. I'm not cool with her just taking my things without permission. She ended up having a temper tantrum and not going. Her boyfriend texted me later on and said I was an asshole. Am I the asshole here? I actually have the almost identical story to this, but it's almost worse. I feel like I had a roommate one year and we started off great. I wanted to be friends with her. She went to my college and we were out of college at this point, but she went to my college. So I felt like we had like stuff in common. I felt like we could be good friends. I slowly realized that she was pretty cold and like not the warmest person in the world, so it was like hard to get close to her because she had a very like cold vibe. And for me, it's like usually when I'm, especially when I'm first becoming friends with someone, I'm going to be like as welcoming and as warm as possible because I want them to feel like super comfortable with me, and so that we can create like a friendship that way. But I know not everyone is like that, but I find it hard to be friends with people if they don't match that energy in a way, if that makes sense. And so we were fine. We were friendly. Like, we would go out with our other roommates together in a group. We never like hung out one on one. And like, if we were in the kitchen together, like we had, you know, superficial conversation, never anything like deep or anything. Like, my other two roommates and I were like close and were friends and would like hang out by ourselves and go out by ourselves. But this one, I never really did. And so I have a vintage shop, which I've talked about before online. And so all of my stuff would be in my closet. And I had so much stuff. Like basically my whole closet was just filled with all the stuff for my store. And one day she had asked me if she could borrow some clothes so that she could take pictures for Instagram. And then she was like, I'll tag your shop, whatever. I was like, go ahead, no problem. Just obviously make sure that you don't like get stains on it or anything, because that's like stuff that I'm going to sell. So I need it to be in good condition. And she was like, yeah, perfect. So she took pictures, blah, 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 cute, gave me back the clothes. Everything was good, okay? And then a couple months later, I was long distance with my boyfriend at this point. So I was going to visit him like once a month, and I would stay for like a week at a time. So I was gone one week, and she obviously knew that I was gone. My roommates knew that I was gone. And then I am on Snapchat one day when I'm visiting my boyfriend, and I am looking at her story, and I see her on a boat with her friends. And I'm like, that shirt looks really familiar. That is my shirt. What the hell? Not only is it my shirt, but it's my shirt from my shop, which I'm selling. Like, what? It wasn't even just my shirt. And anyways, she went in my room and took it without asking me. And we weren't friends like that. Like, I wouldn't even say we were friends. Honestly, I would say we were acquaintances, that I was nice to her whenever we were together. But I wouldn't say that we were even like friends, honestly. Like, I was friendly to her. But there was no world in which it would be normal for her to go in my room and take something that was mine, like, let alone something that is literally my livelihood. That was my full-time job at the time, was selling those clothes. And so I confronted her about it, and I just texted her, and I was like, hey, like, I actually responded to that story. Oh my God, I kind of forgot that this happened. I responded to that story. I said, is this my shirt? She deletes the story and goes, what shirt? Stop. Like, you're gonna gaslight me like that? I go, I just saw that on your story. You deleted it. It's my shirt. I sent her a picture of the shirt and I was like, that was my shirt and you deleted the story of it. And then finally, like, I think she didn't open it on Snapchat for a few hours and then finally she responded and it was just like this long text message about how she's so sorry. She doesn't know why she did that. Like, it won't happen again, blah, blah, blah. And then it happens again, girl. Like, it for real happened again. Not even like a month later, I was visiting my boyfriend again. And lo and behold, I'm like, I forget how it happened, but I figured out, I forget how this one happened, but I obviously saw that she was wearing something of mine again. And I was like, girl, that's mine. Why are you wearing this is the second time that you've stole from me. Like, this is actually out of hand at this point. And I was actually like pissed at this point because I had already caught you the first time and I was like, the first time we talked about it and I was like, girl, honestly, I was upset at first, but like, no problem. I get it. It's totally fine. Like, but just don't do it again, please. And we ended that conversation on really good terms. I forgave her and I was like, I don't want there to be like any bad blood between us. I can't find any of the conversations because the Snapchat conversations delete, which is so annoying. But yeah, so she ended up stealing my clothes again. And I think I was like, hey, I texted my other roommate that I was really good friends with. And I was like, hey, I think she stole my clothes. And so I am going to ask you if you could go lock my door from the inside and then just don't say anything. And then, so my door is locked. And I was like, this will help me because if my door is locked, she's not going to be able to return the clothing item. And that ended up catching her in a lie. She's like, oh shit. Like, she was like, fuck, I was caught. Great. Is like, your door's locked. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. I stole this and I'm so sorry. Basically, the whole shebang over again. And I was like, honestly, that's really annoying. And I was actually pissed at her this time. And I'm like, girl, I obviously was too forgiving last time and I just let it slide kind of like I did, but I didn't. And you're a little bit too comfortable. So yeah, that ended up happening and then it was a little bit awkward for a while, but then we ended up just being fine after that because I was like, I don't want it to be awkward between us. Like, we live together and I really don't want it to be awkward. So it's whatever, but just don't do it again. Like, I genuinely don't trust you. So when I leave my house and like I go visit places, I'm going to have to lock my door now because you obviously don't respect my items and my stuff. So, yeah, that was actually no, it was actually I was shook because she tried to gaslight me saying that she wasn't wearing it and like deleted the proof and I was like, "Girl, why are you going to act like I'm going crazy right now? Like, I know I'm not losing my mind." Anyways, let's read the next story because I'm about to get heated thinking about that again. And that was like 2 years ago. All right, the next title is Am I the asshole for refusing to wear a bra when my roommate's boyfriend stays over? I don't wear a bra at home. I go to college, then the library, and then work, and then the gym. I am out of the house. I am out at 7 a.m. and back at 10 p.m. Usually I take a quick shower when I get home, and then I make a snack and just relax for an hour before bedtime. On the weekends, I barely leave the apartment besides the occasional outing with some friends or colleagues. My roommate and I are very close, but now she has been biting my head off about me not wearing a bra at home. I was confused, and then she explained that it was about her boyfriend. I laughed in her face and told her to put a bra on his eyes instead. She got very upset, but I told her that I wasn't interested in her boyfriend, not in the slightest. She got offended and said that he wasn't interested in me either, so I said, then why are we arguing? It is only an issue if we were interested in each other. Tell him next time he sees me braless, he can pretend that I'm a wall. According to her, it wasn't about interest, but being invasive and he felt uncomfortable. Would you think that it was fine if he showed his D? I called her stupid because I was in my home. I wouldn't go braless in his home, and if he chose to go naked in his home, the only right I have is to get the hell out of there. She called me the asshole. Am I? No. You have the right to feel comfortable in your home. Why do people not understand that? Girl, if I want to wear no bra, I'm wearing no bra, and your boyfriend can look away. Like, he can shade his eyes because I want to be comfortable in my own home. So if he's uncomfortable because I'm not wearing a bra, then frankly, I don't give a shit. He can stay out of the common areas and hide in your room for all I care. How about you shut the hell up? Also, free the nipple. Please. It's not like she's going shirtless and braless and she's whipping her titties out around the house. Like, I'm sorry. Why is it such a big deal when you can see someone's nipple through their shirt? Please grow up. Grow up. How old are you? Like, genuinely, you've never seen a nipple in your life? I feel sorry for you. I have a website that's actually perfect. You can pull up and you can look at one right now. It's not that big of a deal. Actually, you can look at your own. Why is it so sexualized? Like, it's so annoying, especially, okay, whatever, shirtless with your titties out, okay. Socially, that's not acceptable. Whatever. But, like, really, I can't wear a shirt with no bra because my nipple gets hard and is pointing through my shirt? Like, come on, you jackass. Okay, the first comment says, not the asshole, pretty obvious, it's your house, it's your level of comfort. Opie said, thanks, that was my original thought, but then I started second guessing myself. Oh my god, I mean, just avoid me then. Not the asshole, it's pretty ironic that she said it's invasive, yet he's the one coming into your home and wanting you to change the way that you live because it makes him uncomfortable. Oh, the absolute horror of it all for him. If they're so uncomfortable being in your home, how about suggesting they weekend at his? Edit, I didn't expect this comment to blow up the way it did. I wasn't really weighing in on whether it was the roommate or the BF. I'm also sure it's the roommate, but the overall point is the same. Both of them, even if he is saying that and like she is relaying that information and not telling her boyfriend, like, actually, you don't have the right to feel uncomfortable because this is her house and she should be able to not wear a bra. So you should cover your eyes next time if you're uncomfortable. Someone commented back, I had to laugh at the use of the word invasive. What is she doing? Poking the roommate's boyfriend in the eye with her nipples? No, seriously. Like, sorry, what? All right, the next title is, sorry, these were short, but like these were the ones that I liked the most, the titles. So I picked them because it's kind of hard to find like the crazy, crazy ones. But yeah. Okay. The title is, My Girlfriend Has Been Sleeping with My Roommate. Apparently, this has been going on for a while. I've been dating her for over a year, and I'll confess I'm not very good in bed, but I try. I love her, and I thought our relationship was great. Then last night, I saw her screwing my roommate, my best friend who I thought that I could count on. I'm socially awkward, so I don't have that many other friends, but I thought I didn't need any more so long as I had him. I saw them openly screwing each other in the living room. I couldn't help but stare in disbelief, and then I heard my roommate tell my girlfriend to keep it down so as not to wake me up. She responded by saying that I never heard them before, so this has clearly been going on a while. Now, as I said before, I'm not very good in the bedroom, mainly because of my small size. I've always been insecure about this, and seeing my girlfriend cheat on me has amplified this considerably. I don't know what to do. It won't be easy to find a new place to stay and get out of my lease. My family's abusive, so they're not an option. My few other friends are closer to my roommate than me, and I wouldn't call them confidants of mine, and I've emotionally invested a lot into my girlfriend. She was my first one. I can't pretend I didn't see what I saw, but I don't know how I can get out of my apartment, and if I do, I'm going to be all alone. I'm already dealing with the pain from being betrayed by the two people I thought I could trust and from my personal insecurities. I'm terrified at the prospect of being completely alone as well. That makes me so sad. And there's nothing you can even say to make someone that goes through this feel better, because other than like they're obviously terrible people and they showed you who they are, so like it's good that you don't have them in your life anymore, but that still sucks because the one person that you thought was your best friend and then the one person that you loved and was your girlfriend are betraying you like that in like the worst way possible, the most scummy way ever. The top comment says, My God, people are so shitty. Sorry, man. Make sure you kick her to the curb and find a new roommate next semester. If you don't, experiencing any more episodes where you end up watching your roommate girlfriend sleep together can cause emotional scarring and trust issues that could carry over to your next relationship. OP said, "Thank you. I do know that's what I need to do. I'm just worried about being alone after. Not to mention that moving away can be a challenge right now." I know. I mean, I feel like if you're in college, are they in college? I don't even know if they're in college or not. Then like you can obviously be placed with different roommates and you don't have to like find different roommates usually. That's the case if you live on like in a school housing apartment, but I don't know. I don't see anything about them being in college, so they could just be moving in a regular apartment. I hate to tell you this, but you're already alone. Just because someone is in your life doesn't mean they're there for you, and neither one of these people give a crap about you, apparently. I would confront them. I wouldn't confront them. I would just secretly find another apartment and then move out. I know change is scary, but anything would be better than the situation you are currently in. When you can afford it, seek therapy as well to help with your insecurity issues. Oh, that's so sad. Someone else said, first off, size is not an indication of how good someone is in bed. Size doesn't make up for enthusiasm or attentiveness. Second, check out the rental market around you and negotiate. Lots of places are losing tenants. Third, you need to dump them both. Being alone is better than what they did to you. And fourth, find something to help with your self esteem. Everything you say about yourself is you putting yourself down. You deserve better than what these people have done to you. Find a therapist or a support group. Get a hobby where you have to interact with people, volunteer or something. It will help you build up your self worth and get you around people who don't treat you like this. Why am I going to use that advice? I feel like I need to get a hobby that involves other people or something because I'm alone so often that sometimes like I get anxious thinking about hanging out with even like my closest friend. Like sometimes I just get anxious thinking about it because I've been alone for so long and I'm like not used to it. But then obviously once like I'm hanging out with these people, I'm pretty comfortable around people. It's just I get in my head beforehand and I'm like, oh, but I've never been like that before. It's just like I think ever since COVID and being so isolated for so long and then also working from home for so long has made me feel like anxious before a social event but not during, if that makes sense. Like I don't have social anxiety, but I have anxiety about like what could happen, and I'm always thinking about like the worst situation, and it's really not that deep, but like I do get a little bit nervous about it sometimes. Just like beforehand I'm like a little bit anxious. Even just like going to catch up with my roommate, I was a little bit anxious. I was like, oh, do I want to do this? But then when I get there I'm like, I'm literally perfectly fine. Why do I freak out about this beforehand? And I think it's just because I'm like so not, it's just such a different thing than you experience your whole entire life. Like you grow up being around people 24/7 because you're at school every single day of your life for so long, hours of the day. You're always around people, you're with your friends. And then you go from that to barely being around people ever, especially if you're working from home. Obviously, if you have like a job in the office and you're around people, then that makes it better. But like when you're working from home and you're so used to just being around people all the time, like that's just what you're comfortable with. Like I've always been very comfortable around people. I never really am socially like anxious or feel like I'm awkward. Like I don't really think I'm an awkward person in general. I think I can mostly get along with people unless it's like in a situation that I'm like scared of the person, where like I don't know, if I'm like, oh, I'm meeting, I don't know, I would get nervous to meet like a boyfriend's parents or something. But then I could be like a little bit awkward because I'm watching what I'm saying and like I feel like I can't be myself, especially right off the bat. But like now I'm comfortable with my boyfriend's mom, so I'm very relaxed and I honestly look forward to hanging out with her. Like I don't get anxious at all when I'm around her or before I'm with her at all. But yeah, so I look forward to hanging out with her, which is nice. I look forward to hanging out with all my friends too, but it's just I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my experience lately. So, guys, can you recommend things that I can do like with friends? Not friends, but like to meet other people, because honestly, I love being around other people and it's just hard to find things that you are just like around other people for, if that makes sense. And I also find that I'm very picky about friends, and I don't know if that makes me sound annoying, but I just, I don't know. Like, I'm friendly with everyone, but to want to be friends with someone, they have to have this certain, like, spunk to them. But I don't know. Does that make sense? I'm just picky with friends because I want to feel like really comfortable, and I'm just more comfortable being friends with a certain type of person. So like I usually know after the first time hanging out with someone if that is something like that I would want to someone that I would want to pursue a friendship with. I usually know. So, I don't know. I feel like I want to I don't know, I'm like let me go volunteer with like at the animal shelter, but what? So you can hang out with animals more? Like, girl, you're not gonna be making friends and hanging out with the cats at the animal shelter. But I need something. But I don't really enjoy a lot of things. I don't have a lot of hobbies. I love to read, but that's a solitary hobby. So what do I do? Help, please. Anyways, that's the end of the storytime segment. We're going to move on to the advice segment. So, if you guys ever want advice from me, unprofessional advice, dare I say, please be my guest. There is a Google form in the description below, and it's completely anonymous, so you can literally ask whatever you want and be as descriptive as possible. I do not collect literally anything that will show your identity, not even an email address, nothing. So, please let me know your deepest, darkest secrets, and I will let you know what I think. And I'm not saying that I'm always right, but I love a little bit of advice, you know? I love to give my input and see if I can help anyone because that's like always really nice, and I feel like it helps us connect a little bit more. All right, I might do two because this one's a little short and I feel like I already know what I'm about to say just even skimming this question. So, this question is I, 17 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 17 male, for a year and a half, and we were talking for 3 months before we even started dating. This is my first ever relationship, and I'm pretty sure I love him, but I have nothing to compare it to, so I don't know for sure. He is so amazing and spoils me like crazy, but I'm scared I don't actually love him and it's just puppy love or something like that. I don't want to sound rude, but I don't think the advice of you will know when you know, like I hear so many people say, is very helpful for me because I tend to be an overthinker. I just like some advice on actually knowing. Thank you, and I love your video so much. Okay, love you. Also, this is what I have to say because I kind of already just knew by like taking one look at that. You are 17, and I think that what you should do is enjoy your relationship while you're in it. And don't put too much pressure on it because you're so young and you don't have to stay with this person forever. And as much as obviously that thinks like you think that's sad to hear, trust me, it's gonna be okay if you guys end up being together forever or if you don't end up being together forever. But the reality of the situation is that most people don't end up with the person that they date when they're 17 years old. So that is also something to think about, but don't overthink. Just enjoy where you're at with this person and don't think that it needs to be like the love of your life situation. This could be someone that you just enjoy spending time with right now and then it slowly fades out and you guys end up ending things, or maybe you're the one in rare. This is very rare, I feel like, to find the love of your life at this young of an age. And maybe that's the case for you. It could possibly be. Just don't think that you need to like know that you're so deeply in love with this person. You guys are in a relationship and you can just have fun with it. Like, have a good time and just stop overthinking things. I know that's definitely way easier said than done. Obviously, when you're an overthinker and you're anxious about stuff and you are just like always thinking about stuff, it's not as easy to just say like stop thinking about that, you know? But I hope that you can find a little bit of comfort in knowing that it's okay if this person isn't your forever, and it's okay if you don't think that you're completely in love with them. It could just be someone that you're meant to date right now, and you guys don't end up being together forever, and that's totally okay. I would just say that I think you're putting a lot of pressure on a relationship that is at such a young point in your life. And when you get older, you will realize that it wasn't really that deep, right? Like, Genuinely, when you're that young, and honestly, just anytime you're in a relationship, especially when you're in high school, like when I was 15, 16, in my first relationship ever, I barely dated this man. I've dated him for a total of probably 6 months, okay? Lost my virginity to him, and he was 2 years older than me, so I was like enamored by him. I was never in love with him. I thought I was at the time. I was never truly in love with him. It was definitely like a lust thing. Like, he was cool, he was in a cool friend group, he was like one of the popular guys in my school, and we got along really well, and like I really liked him and all that good stuff. But after we broke up, I was heartbroken. I mean, heartbroken. I was walking around my town, bawling my eyes out on the sidewalk, and people were genuinely concerned about me. I didn't know anyone saw me. I was like in a little bit of a dark street, and I was just crying my eyes out. And I didn't realize that like people from my school were driving by that knew my boyfriend, and they were like, "Is your girlfriend okay?" But like we had already broken up at that point. And it took me about, I'm not even kidding you guys, like a year and a half to get over that relationship. And I thought it was like the end of my life. Like, I was like, wow, this is the worst feeling I've ever had. I woke up the day after we broke up, and I had 5 a.m. diving practice in the way that I literally wanted to get into a car crash on the way to school for that practice is actually insane. I was devastated, okay? But as I've gotten older, I'm 26 now. That was 10 years ago. Even when I was 20, 19, I realized that it was never that deep, and we were never going to end up being together forever. And it's okay. That's totally okay. It helps you have experience and gain experience and life experience and relationship experience. And then it also helps you figure out what you want and what you don't want in your next relationship. That's okay. Some people are there for a season, and some people aren't meant to be in your life forever. So I hope that helps. It's a lot easier said than done. A lot of these things are just a lot easier said than done. But I love you so much, okay? And just enjoy where you're at and don't overthink it too much. All right, the next advice question is, I am male 15 and my girlfriend is female 15, and her mother, female 31, is strict sometimes. She kind of picks and chooses as such. Me and my girlfriend have a typical schedule to see each other every Saturday, so I come over to my girlfriend's house. I recently moved out to a nicer neighborhood, basically a gated community, but her town is considered more dangerous and has a higher crime rate. Meanwhile, my neighborhood is still being built up, but we still have our Saturday schedule. Recently, with moving in, my girlfriend has wanted to help me, but her mother is too strict to let her come over to my house. I live with my father, male 46. I don't understand why. She made me ask her mom, and all she said was she can't come over to boys' houses. Honestly, it was kind of offensive because I'm not a random boy. I've been with this girl for 2 years and 4 months. I talked to my dad, and he's getting tired of having to drive 20 minutes over to her, and asked if my girlfriend could start coming over to my house, but she's not allowed at all. And no matter how much she asks, what I don't understand is just, why can we not change her mind? We've been dating for years, not months, and her mother even says I'm a part of the family. But the way that her mother treats me doesn't make me feel that welcomed. Her mother is extremely stubborn with compromising. We can't reason with her, and don't get me wrong, I do want to be a part of her family, and I want her to be a part of mine, but it's hard when I've met her whole family, but she's only met my mom by saying hi to her when dropping me off. Not much of a conversation. My dad says this relationship comes off as one-sided, but is it one-sided if she wants to, but she's just not allowed to do anything? Breaking up is not an option. We are getting married, but let me know something or some advice. I need it. Aw. Well, what I'm going to say is that you're 15, and this mother has a lot more life experience than you, okay? So she definitely, maybe she is a little bit strict, but I'm sure she has her reasons to be strict. Some people just aren't comfortable having, it can be scary. Like, you never know what other people are like, and if your families aren't like super close, then the mom just might not feel comfortable having her young daughter over at another family's house because of maybe personal reasons, or just because that's how she is as a mom. But I think that you guys are so young, and it sounds like you guys are in a really sweet relationship, and that you guys are very cute, but you're also so young. So respect that your parents know more and know what's best because they do. And you will realize that as you get older, that they were just doing their best and trying to protect their kids. As much as you think like, oh, it's so stupid that they won't let me do this, that's of course that's what you think when you're 15 years old. That's what I would think. Like, wow, why are her parents being so strict? Like, why do they have a curfew? It's really in the best interest of their children to have those rules and boundaries in place for their kids. I would say that maybe if your family could make more of an effort to get closer, then maybe the mom would feel more comfortable if she knew and were closer to your family and maybe spent a little more time together. If that's something that they'd be interested in and something that you could suggest, like maybe they come over, the mom comes over and the girlfriend comes over for dinner to your house. Like your dad and your mom could invite them over for dinner and they could have a nice dinner and get to know each other sometimes, and then just build up to that. And then maybe one day the mom will end up letting your girlfriend come over and hang out. Respect that your parents know and that her parents know what they're doing, because trust me, they know better than you. They have a lot more life experience and they know what they're doing. Okay? Love you so much. That's really all I have to say about that advice question. Obviously, if you guys have anything to add with the advice questions and you have any advice to give these people, I always love when you guys comment and help, because it's like nice to see other people's perspectives. Anyways, that's the advice segment. I keep burping and I'm like burping up this chicken burrito that I ate for lunch that my boyfriend literally meal prepped like 16 of them. It was actually insane. And we still have so much chicken left, but we didn't have enough tortillas to wrap it in. So if you guys wanted to know what my burp tasted like, it tastes like a chicken burrito. And that was like 5 hours ago when I ate that. But anyways, I had something to talk about, but I can't really remember what I was going to say. I was going to say that I have no talents, but then I said that in the beginning. So like, oh my God. I'm literally so annoyed whenever I see super, super talented people on like TikTok. I saw this very beautiful singing girl, and I'm like, tell me why God made me have no talent. Like, I've always been average or below average at everything that I've done, and it's actually so annoying. Like, I just want to be amazing at something, you know? It's so rude. I don't want to be like, what is it called? A jack of many trades, master at none. I don't want to be that. I want to be a master at one, and I don't care about the others, you know? So please, if God could just bless me with something, and other than my amazing personality, just kidding, guys. I'm not that narcissistic, I promise. Yeah, so that's really all I had to say. I don't really think I have anything else to say, to be honest, other than I love you guys. And I was honestly gonna start, I really want to get like one of the vlogging cameras so that I can vlog, even though I know that like some of you would watch it. Okay, I know that. But I just know that they would do so bad like on my channel compared to other stuff. But I feel like it would be fun to vlog. Like, I feel like it would just be a fun kind of hobby to do. But then again, I'm like, what do I even do that would be like interesting? Because I don't do much. And I also don't think that I would feel comfortable taking a camera out in public and like vlogging myself. You know? My like small town in Florida, in South Florida. Ugh, get me out of here. I want to move to New York City. That's actually what I was talking about with my friend today. How I want to move to New York City so bad, but I would never unless I was like super rich. Because I don't want to live in like a 200 square feet apartment. Especially, I mean, I can't. I have 3 cats and a boyfriend. Like, where are we going to fit? Nowhere. Bunk beds, like triple bunk beds. The cats can sleep on the bottom. I'll sleep in the middle. My boyfriend can sleep on the top. Yeah. So, and I would want like a good sized apartment, and I know that it would be 10,000 plus a month for that. So, and even then it's like, oh, to throw that money away would feel so sad. So, yeah, I just hope I don't die before I get the chance to live there, you know? But like if I'm not rich at any point in my life, I will never live there. And that's really sad to think about. It's really sad to think about the fact that I may die never being able to do some of the stuff that I would want to do. Like, I would love to be an actor, an actress, but like, I'm not going to try to be an actress. It's 1 in 1 trillion chances of me actually having a successful acting career. And I'm not like the most passionate ever person. I don't even know if I can act, first of all. And so it's not like I would dedicate my whole life to become an actor. And I know that actors literally work so hard. They do auditions all day long for hours and hours and hours, and then they don't even get paid for it. So that's crazy to me, and I don't think I would have the willpower to do that. But it would be amazing if like someone was just like, "Hey, you can be an actor," and just like snapped my fingers and I was an actress, you know? But unfortunately, that's not how life works. So I will just be here for you guys, sitting in my bed, chatting, and hopefully at some point my channel gets successful, and then maybe I can move to New York City. Not me thinking about moving to New York City and I have 10,000 subscribers. That's crazy, but dream big, right? Reach for the stars and you'll touch the moon, or is it the other way around? I don't know, but whatever that saying is, that's what my mantra is for the year. 2025 is going to be my year. I always like to say it's going to be our year though, because I want everyone's year to be 2025. But then again, I just know that that's not realistic, you know? Everyone always says each year is always like a terrible year for everyone. You know, it's like, oh, 2024 was the worst. Oh, 2023 was the worst. Like every year, I swear, at the end of every year and the beginning of a new one. Like, hopefully this is my year because last year sucked. But it's like, come on, guys. Does anyone ever have a good year? Honestly, I had a pretty good year last year. I got medicated. Thank God I needed that. I would probably not be alive anymore if I didn't. And I started this channel, which I love, and got to virtually meet all of you guys and talk to you guys all the time, which is so fun. And I moved into this apartment. I got a third kitty cat. There's a lot of great things that happened this year, so I'm grateful for that. And of course, I've had some bad days, and honestly, I've been kind of anxious lately about random stuff. I've been making up little scenarios in my head, which isn't the best, and it's not the most fun time. I've been thinking about, like, oh my gosh, maybe I should take an extra anxiety pill or something. I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to do that, but I do have like another whole like different prescription for anxiety, but it's mostly for like falling asleep at night. So I know that it would make me so tired. I think it's like trazodone, if I'm being honest with you, and that makes you really tired. And then I feel groggy, so I have like a whole bottle that I've literally taken one pill, and I haven't taken any more because I don't like to feel groggy in the morning. And I also haven't really been like having that hard of a time falling asleep. Usually I would think a lot and overthink a lot before falling asleep, but lately it just hasn't been like that, which thank God. It's been a while since that's been a thing. So I've just been randomly thinking about stupid situations. Like, honestly, sometimes I have anxiety about situations that happened so long ago, and I'm like, oh no, all these people think I'm crazy. And that's like the worst, but it's like, come on. I'm sure they're not thinking about you. You're not that important, you know? Like, I know I'm important, but at the same time, like, you're not that important. And that kind of is like a peaceful, comforting thing to know that you are important, but you're not that important. That people are thinking about your things that you've done that are embarrassing to you. Like, no one's probably ever thinking about embarrassing things that you did in the past as much as you are, if that makes sense. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping because I actually have some other stuff I need to do, and I also need to edit. So I love you guys, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. But that is the crazy roommates story. Maybe we'll come back when we find some better ones and make another one. I love you guys to the moon and back, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Storytime Society. Please let me know your questions, comments, concerns, and your deepest, darkest thoughts. Love you so much. Bye. Oh.